Box office breakdown show here on Max Talks Movies. My name is Max Zenberg. Today, we're breaking down the box office of this past weekend domestically, September the 8th to September 10th. We're also going to look at the 2023 domestic and worldwide box office numbers and take a look ahead on what's hitting theaters this upcoming weekend. My name is Max Zenberg. Welcome back to the show. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, hit that subscribe button, and ring that bell for notifications to be notified of all my videos when they drop. We just hit 160 subscribers. So let's get to 170 as quickly as possible. So please hit that subscribe button. I do this show every single Monday, as well as other movie, TV show reviews, and movie rankings. So please subscribe, ring the bell if you're new to the channel. Comment down below. What are your thoughts on the overall box office situation? Do you think there should be more Conjuring films? Let me know in the comment section down below. Also, please like the video, guys. The thumbs up button, that's how you support this channel the best way possible. Helps the algorithm out on YouTube. The more you guys like the videos, the more it will be recommended for more people. So please hit that like button. Without further ado, let's get into this past weekend's box office. We'll take a look at the domestics right now from September 8th to September 10th. And opening at number one this weekend from Warner Brothers Discoveries is The Nun 2, the new film in the Conjuring universe. I believe this is the 9th film in the Conjuring universe. To $32.6 million. Now, overall, for the Conjuring franchise, this is not a massive success as it is opening weekend. Out of the entire Conjuring franchise, this is the sixth biggest franchise opening. The first Nun, which opened to $52 million, was the biggest opening for this franchise. It got to around $117 million domestically and $300 million, nearly $360 million worldwide. So The Nun is still the biggest franchise film that they've done from a money perspective, a box office perspective. Now, The Nun 2 did make $21 million less than the first one made almost 5 years ago. But this still, with this opening, shows that there's a lot more fandom than I think people expect. With the Conjuring franchise, there's not a lot of horror-based cinematic universes. We're now, I think, like nearly 10 years into this one, which is really crazy to say. So this is a really good success for Warner Brothers. Horror movies are doing really well at the box office, and we're going to see especially how we test that theory out, because the next really month and a half will be mostly horror films. So some are going to succeed and some are going to fail, as the marketplace is going to be crowded with horror films for the next 2 months. So we shall see which ones succeed, which one don't. So far, a good start for the month of September for The Nun 2. Now, the audience and the critic scores are slightly better than the first film. While it's shockingly the biggest opening weekend of the entire franchise, it was really the biggest film in the franchise with so much hatred from a point of critics' response and fan response. So with it not being as heated with the response of this film, we'll see if that lends it to a better box office track over the next couple of weeks. But we'll watch it here on our show. In second place, dropping a spot in its second weekend, is from Sony Pictures, the Equalizer 3, dropping a massive 65%, $12 million for the Equalizer 3. And it's now up to 61.7 domestically. With this big of a drop, it looks like the Equalizer will not get to $100 million domestically, which would make it the first film of this trilogy to not get into the $100 million club. It had a good opening, $34 million, a franchise high opening for the Equalizer 3, but its drop off was really big. Again, Sony does that method where it drops first on PVOD market for a couple of weeks, and then remember, all the new Sony releases then go to Netflix. I've seen the movies like 65, The Pope's Exorcist, things like that on Netflix. So definitely watch out for this one on Netflix in the next couple of months. But really bad job for the Equalizer 3. We'll see if he can at least hang around the top 5 for at least 4 or 5 weeks. In third place is the other new big American release of the weekend, which was My Big Fat Greek Wedding 3, opening to $10 million. I think this is a lot better than a lot of people are going to expect. The fact that it has at least a double digit in front of it in its opening weekend. This franchise started a long time ago, nearly 20 years ago. It was an indie darling, and it took a long time for them to make the sequel nearly 7 years ago. Not just did it bomb at the box office, but critically and audiences were not happy with the sequel to this film. And while there's no chatter about it, it quietly makes $10 million. That's a win for Focus Features. I don't know, I'm sure they're going to keep doing these movies, but we shall see. The big headline of the weekend is at number 4, which is an Indian film, hopefully I'm saying it right, Jawan, which was a simultaneous release worldwide. And usually when you see films come out, for example, domestically, you might have a movie come out on a Friday, and then the next Friday it will release in particular countries at a time. This film did release simultaneously in India and in the United States, and it got $6.1 million in only 818 theaters. It was the second best per theater average in the top 5 this past week, and only behind The Nun 2. So you really are seeing a lot of people in this country, both you can see it in the streaming numbers with a lot of people trying different shows from different countries, and you're really seeing it since COVID that a lot of people are trying out these anime films from Japan in theaters, and also a lot of Bollywood Indian films as well in theaters. So it's a really great place at the marketplace where a lot of worldwide theaters, especially here domestically, are showing international films. I think that's really awesome for our country to be at. Hanging in the top 5 again for its 8th weekend, though, is Barbie from Warner Brothers Discovery. 2 winners of the weekend. Barbie dropped 44%, which is Barbie's biggest drop percentage since its release 8 weeks ago. It clings to $5.7 million. It hung in the top 5 by about $2 million. Barbie's now up to 620.2 domestically, so still a massive hit for Barbie, but we'll see if Barbie can stay in the top 5 at the box office this upcoming weekend, because tomorrow, as I'm recording this on Monday, tomorrow, Tuesday the 12th, Barbie will be available to purchase on the PVOD market. So we'll see if that makes people stay at home now to watch Barbie instead of going to the theaters in its 9th weekend. When we look at the overall numbers here so far domestically, to keep on the Barbie train, Barbie, $620 million domestically, still number 1 now by a pretty good margin here, around $46 million difference now between Barbie and number 2, Super Mario, at the domestic box office. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is number 3 at 381 domestic. Guardians Volume 3 is number 4 at 358. Oppenheimer, which finally in its 8th weekend did not stay in the top 5 this past weekend, but it's up to 315 domestically. Little Mermaid is at 6, up to 298. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania was at 214. John Wick Chapter 4 at 187. Sound of Freedom at 174, and Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny wrapping up the top 10 as well, 174. Sound of Freedom at 182. Correction on that. We go to the worldwide numbers. Super Mario Bros. Is 1.3 billion to Barbie's 1.4 billion. So again, Barbie, biggest movie domestically, biggest movie worldwide. Oppenheimer's at 3 with 890 million. Oppenheimer now $10 million away from 900 million. That's a big achievement for Universal and Christopher Nolan. Guardians Volume 3 is at number 4 worldwide, 844. Fast X is at 714. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is number 6 with 686. And we go to the rest of the top 10. Mission Impossible 7 is the number 9 at 563, and Little Mermaid's the number 10 with 561. When we look at the movies coming out this upcoming weekend, we have things coming out for sure. A Haunting in Venice, which is, people don't, I guess, are not realizing this, but this is the 3rd movie in the Kenneth Branagh set of films of the Hercule Poirot. We had Murder on the Orient Express kicking things off. So this is the 3rd film of that Hercule Poirot trilogy. Also, if people realize that and show up to the box office this upcoming weekend. Also, Dumb Money, which is a very highly anticipated awards film, will be releasing limited this upcoming weekend. It will hit wide in a couple of weeks, but it will be starting in limited markets this upcoming weekend. What are your thoughts on the box office? Let me know in the comment section down below, and I'll see you guys soon.